Hey guys, I hope you've all been well. You may have noticed that I didn't have an upload last week. This is because I'm starting a new job soon, as I have mentioned on my channel. So I'm now going to be uploading every other weekend for a while until I've settled in, and then I'll reassess it and see if I can up the uploads back to every weekend. But yeah, today I'm going to be doing my full face of makeup that I rarely reach for. So all this makeup is stuff that I just don't seem to use in my collection. Some of it is amazing, some of it's like stuff I actually really love, but I just don't find myself reaching for all that often. So I just wanted to get on camera and use all those products, maybe find some of my old faves and start using them a little bit more. Yeah, so I may as well just get into it. I've just prepped my skin with like skincare, moisturiser, SPF. So I'm gonna start with my eyes. Because I always do. I'm just going to prep my eyelids with a little bit of Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. This isn't something I rarely reach for. I just can't do my eyeshadow without it. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that on. And I'll just whiz through this. Yeah, so that's fine. My eyelids are all prepped for eyeshadow. And then the eyeshadow I'm going to be using is the Morphe Mani MUA palette, the Glam palette. This is a beautiful palette. Let me just... But I never use it. I have so many eyeshadows in my collection that I just don't find myself reaching for it, even though it's really nice. And Morphe eyeshadows are great. So I wanted to use this one today. So I'm just going to put this Dust Cloud shade all over my lid just to set that concealer in place. I'm just using a big spectrum brush. It's the A06 brush. And then I'm going to go in with Sophie just as a little transition shade, just in the crease. And I'm going to swap brushes to this one, which I use all the time, the Morphe S27. These eyeshadows do go on so nicely. I mean, I prefer kind of like the Huda and Too Faced formula. These are a little bit more dry, less creamy, but they still blend really nicely and they go on evenly and not patchy and stuff, so they're still really nice. That's what it looks like. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of colour into the crease using this pinky shade. It's called Fire Witch. It's like a corally kind of pink. I'm just going to use the same brush. Just kind of dust it similar place where I just put that one. I'm not doing anything too precise or extravagant. And now I'm just going to take a smaller brush. It's the Morphe S12 brush. And I'm going to take Spellbound, which is like a reddy brown kind of shade. I'm just going to dip into that just slightly, and I'm going to pop it right in the corner here, just to deepen that section. I'm just doing a really natural kind of look, because I'm only sat at home today, as we all kind of are, I guess. This shade isn't as dark as it looks in the pan. I mean, it is, I guess, like coming off darker on camera than it is in real life. I'm just going to take this spectrum brush that I used earlier and just blend it all together a little bit more. This palette's nice for just like everyday kind of quick little makeup look. That's what it's looking like, nothing crazy. Yeah, so I'm going to leave it there for now with that palette. So for mascara, I'm actually going to be using the Max Factor False Lash Epic Mascara, which I haven't used in ages. I probably should throw it away. It's probably been open more than 6 months, but I'm just going to use it. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I'm going to curl my lashes with the number 7 lash curler, which I got brand new yesterday because my lash curler broke this spring and it snapped, and that was annoying. So picked my new one. I might edit myself curling my lashes out because I pull weird faces. So if you don't see me curling my lashes, it's because I pull a weird face. This kind of feels better than my last lash curler. It's a bit thinner. I can actually like get to the root a bit better. Okay, that worked. So this is what the one looks like on this Max Factor mascara. It's kind of like flat with like a little dome on top, little ball. So we'll give it a go. Obviously I have used it before. I don't think it's anything special, but I haven't used it in a while. When the brushes are like this, I just never know what angle to go in at properly. Like, this is why I prefer just like a standard mascara wand, if that makes any sense. Plus this is plastic and I do prefer like a fibre bristle kind of brush than this plastic type. I mean, it looks fine. It is definitely a bit clumpy. But then I don't know if that's because I've had it open for so long, but I feel like it always was kind of clumpy. Yeah, this mascara is definitely nothing special. Like, I've got mascaras that are way better. I wouldn't really recommend it. If you're going to go for an affordable mascara, I really recommend Maybelline. Maybelline Lash Sensational is sensational. And I also really like a couple of the L'Oreal ones, like Miss Manga, I really like. I don't hear it spoken about as much as other ones like Lash Paradise and stuff, which I haven't actually tried. Lash Paradise. But Miss Manga, it makes your eyelashes so nice and fluttery. I don't have it at the minute, but when I've used a few mascaras, I might pick that one up because it's really good and it's cheap. Okay, so that's the best I'm going to get with this mascara. It looks fine. It's just a little bit like clumpy. And it feels really wet and like heavy on my eyelids. Yeah. It's fine. Okay, so I probably won't bother sticking lashes on today because, like I say, I'm not doing anything. There's kind of no point. So I'm just gonna do my base now. So to prime, I'm gonna use the YSL Instant Moisture Glow. This, I don't know why I keep the boxes to everything. I can't throw them. So this is a makeup base. So I've always used it as a primer. It's really good. I just haven't used it in a long time because when I want a hydrating base, I always go for the Too Faced hangover primer instead of this one. But I saw this one in my makeup drawers and I thought, you know what, that's actually really nice. Why don't I use it more? It smells really nice, but that makes me think it's really fragranced. I mean, it probably is. It's YSL, isn't it? But it does make your skin nice and hydrated, which is a great base for makeup in my opinion. So that's that. For foundation, I'm actually going to use the Fenty Hydrating Foundation. So I've got tan on. I don't know if you can tell. I rarely ever wear tan, but I do like wearing it. I just have no effort. So I have this in the shade 190, which is my tan shade. So I rarely use it because I rarely wear tan, but I actually really like this foundation. It's the only one I have in a tan shade because there's no point me getting loads. So I have used it, just not a lot. And I'm just going to put it on with the It Cosmetics brush that I always use. So I'm going to pump it straight in my face. I know it's probably weird to a lot of people, but I like it. Just like how hydrating this is. Like, it doesn't go dry, it still gives you great coverage. It's not too much, it's not too thick. It just looks really nice on the skin. Like, it's kind of like skin-like, but with a good amount of coverage. It feels so weird to not have like winged liner on, but I don't really wear winged liner if I'm not wearing lashes, because there's kind of no point, is there? That's how this is looking. It's just evened out my skin tone so nicely. So that's how the foundation looks. I think it looks really nice and it matches my tan colour. It's probably just slightly lighter, but I think that's fine. I love this foundation. If you haven't tried the hydrating one, I really do recommend it. I've tried the matte one and I don't like it. It's really dry on my skin. I can't even get it to like stick to my skin for some reason. But the hydrating one is lovely. So if you've tried the matte one and didn't like it, give this one a go because you might like it. I love it. Okay, so under my eyes, I'm just gonna colour correct a little bit and brighten with the Becca under eye corrector. This is something I use all the time, but it's been discontinued. Well, the whole brand is, but just can't not put it on. A little bit of that. And then for my concealer under my eyes, I am going to use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Concealer. I don't use this a lot. I always just use the Too Faced concealer, so it's rare I ever use anything else. This looks really nice with double wear, so whenever I put double wear on, I kind of, not all the time, but I go for this more often. But other than that, I never use it. So I wanted to give it a go today with this foundation. A little bit on. Hope it's not too light. And I'm just going to blend that out with my Real Technique sponge. I do really like this concealer. There's nothing wrong with it. The Too Faced one is super creamy and full coverage, whereas this one, it's slightly less coverage, which I know you see double wear and you think full coverage, but the concealer is actually more of a medium kind of cover. So sometimes I just think it's not enough, but it is really pretty. It looks nice and flawless on the skin, so I do like it. I don't know if that was a little bit light, but it's fine. And before it creases, I'm just going to set it with the Fenty Beauty setting powder in butter. I just can't make my mind up on this powder. It's like dry. Sometimes it looks dry, but it doesn't set my face. I don't know. But I'm going to try it today because so many people love it. And I feel like I'm just seeing it wrong. So I've not used this in ages, but I'm going to use it today. So I'm just using it on this brush. I actually think it's the contour brush. I always use it for setting powder. And I'm just setting under my eyes where I've powdered. And I'm also going to set places where I tend to crease a little bit. Just lightly. I mean, to be fair, it does set really nice and smoothly. I know you can still see a little bit of darkness under my eyes, but it's fine, you know. It's just natural, isn't it? You can't help it. I'm just going to set where I'm going to put my bronzer as well, because I don't want it to go patchy, and the bronzer I'm using, I feel like it can go a little bit patchy. So that's it for the powder. The packaging of this is really clunky and messy, and it winds me up, but it's fine. So for bronzer, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Kate Moss little like palette. I hate the blush in this. I've not really used it. The highlighter is actually really nice, but I'm not going to be using that today. But this bronzer contour shade in the middle, haven't used it in a long time, but I used to use it literally every single day. So I'm going to see if I still like it. So I'm just using this Spectrum brush, and I'm just going to pop it on. It's quite a dark shade, to be honest, but I have got tan on, so I'll probably get away with it. I actually feel like it's going on quite nicely. I found in the past it can go a little bit like muddy if you're not careful. You have to kind of build it slowly, or it can just go a bit patchy, and I don't know, I feel like it kind of has here, if you can tell, but I think it's just stuck to my burn. It blends out a bit, but just not, once it's on, it's kind of on, and it's a bit hard to blend, but it's not impossible. I'm just gonna take the side of the brush and run it down my nose just a little bit, just to add a bit of shape, because I have a massive nose. And just a little bit here. I feel like that looks quite nice. It looks better on camera than in the mirror though. In the mirror I can barely really see it, but maybe it's just the lighting. So that's it for my bronzer. So for blush, I'm going to use the KVD Beauty Everlasting Blush. Have mine in the shade Rosebud. This is such a pretty colour. I don't use it as often as I should, but it doesn't blend out the best. Like, you've got to be careful when you put it on. It gets kind of stuck in one place. So I'm just going to add a little bit. So I'm using this Wet n Wild brush that I always use for blush, and I'm literally just pressing in and then tapping off. Where's my mirror gone? I've shut it. Okay, so see how that's like full colour already? I've barely like put any on, but it's just so the colour comes straight on. I'm just going to dab it with my beauty sponge. But it's such a nice colour. It's like a lovely like mauvey, pinky purple kind of shade. But it does just come on quite a lot. And it is quite powdery, but I still love it. It's weird. I don't know. It's still nice. For highlighter, I'm going to use the Revolution Soph palette, which has had a lot of love. As you can see, this one's hit pan, this one's nearly hit pan. But I completely forgot I had it, and then I found it in my makeup drawer like about a week ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot. Like, I've been using other highlighters all the time, and I forgot that I had this. It used to be one of my favourites, so I'm gonna use it. And I always just kind of dust in these lighter shades and then go straight on with this Morphe brush. And as you can see, it's quite an intense kind of glow, but I think it's so nice. Like, that's such a pretty highlighter. I think you can still get this palette. You should be able to, and it's amazing, so I would recommend it. I'm going to quickly do my eyebrows off camera, because you've seen me do them a million times, and I haven't got anything that I don't reach for, because I always use Benefit Brow. So I'm just going to quickly do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and I've done my eyebrows, and I also added a little bit of mascara on my lower lash line, just because I thought you don't really need to watch that. So yeah, that's fine. That's what I always use. So I'm just going to do my lips then. And I've got 3 products. So I have the NYX lip liner in nude pink. I mean, I feel like I do reach for this, but I just needed a lip liner that would go with these 2. So for lipstick, I'm going to use the Nude by Nature, what's it even called? Satin liquid lipstick in Wisteria number 6. So that is such a pretty colour, like, I love it. But I haven't used it in so long, so I saw that and I was like, oh, I want to use that. And then I've got the Bare Minerals Gen Nude like lip gloss in the shade Can't Even to go on top, which is just a little bit of a lighter pink kind of shade. So that's those 2. So I'm going to do that. First, I'm just going to line my lips with this nude pink lip liner from NYX. Okay, so I've not filled it in with the pencil, just literally just lined it. And then I'll go in with the satin liquid lipstick. That's the applicator, which I really like. The one thing I would say is this has a really weird scent slash taste. I'm not sure where you can get Nude by Nature from anymore. They did it at Boots, but they discontinued it. So I don't really know now. I know it's an Australian brand. But in the UK, I'm not really sure where you can get it. Look how pretty it is. It's such a nice colour. So I'm just going to let that set because it's still very like wet right now. Also, this here is a little like remnants of a spot. I know it just looks like a massive smudge, but it's mostly just remnants of a spot, which is nice. I am just going to blend it a little bit with this brush. This concealer brush. Cover it up a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to add my gloss now. So it's the Bare Minerals one, like a 3rd in the shade Can't Even. The applicator is very similar actually, but a little bit shorter. It's one of those glosses that has like kind of full opaque kind of colour. The colour's really similar to this Nude by Nature lipstick. It's just a little bit lighter. I haven't used this in so long. I don't know why, because it's so nice. That combo looks really nice together, and I haven't used that together before. Something that's nice. Okay, so I think that's the finished look. What do we think? Definitely some products that I should use more. I need to get that Fenty foundation in a lighter shade that I can use when I'm not tanned, because I love it. I do think the blush and the bronzers made my skin look a little bit dry, like especially that blush. It's a shame because I really like it. I don't know. I can't. I'm going to sit on the fence with that one. I just am. The eyeshadow, really nice and simple. The mascara actually looked kind of nice. I don't think I'd buy it again, but I might try and make a conscious effort to like use that up. The concealer and the powder. The powder has actually set everything quite smoothly, like under my eyes, which I'm kind of shocked about because when I've used it before, like I say, I've not loved it, but I think it looks quite nice today. Yeah, so that's everything. That's my whole face. Let me know in the comments what you thought, like what kind of products that you don't use, what are these that you use and love, and what you think worked. So thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again for another video soon. Bye!